Why is my period late? Is your period late and you're wondering what the causes are for having a late period? Let's discuss the reasons why this happens. Hello, I am so thrilled to be here. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Michelle Cooke. I am a period and hormone naturopath, a natural fertility educator, and an emotion release technique or ERT practitioner. I help women struggling with their menstrual cycles have easy, pain free periods, balanced hormones, and emotional well-being. I am the founder and director of Reproductive Wellness, and I see patients both online and face to face. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to pop them down below for me, and let's get started. Timing of a normal period. So, a menstrual cycle typically starts on day one of your period. So, that's an actual bleed. It doesn't count, spotting doesn't count there. And it finishes the day before your next period. So, even though the textbook definition of a women's menstrual cycle is 28 days, this is not always the case for every woman. It's important to remember that and don't be concerned if you're not 28 days, because a normal menstrual cycle will vary from woman to woman. And it can be anywhere from 21 days to 35 days in length, and that's perfectly normal. So, ovulation would generally be occurring sort of midway throughout a menstrual cycle. So, for example, it might be day 14 if your menstrual cycle is a 28-day menstrual cycle in length. However, this can also vary due to many, many different factors. So, one of those factors can be if your menstrual cycle is longer than 28 days, then your ovulation time will typically occur later in the cycle, and that's perfectly normal as well. So, your period happens after ovulation, and this is generally about 11 to 17 days later. Okay. It is still normal, however, to have slight variations in when you ovulate. Okay, so it might not always be the exact same time that you had last menstrual cycle or the one before that. And that's okay. There'll be slight variations in when ovulation takes place for you. Late ovulation means late period. So it is not so much that your period is late. And I'm not saying that, that's not actually happening because it is. But I would like you to recognize that ovulation is the main event. It is actually the main event of your menstrual cycle. So, actually, when ovulation is delayed or late, this then has a flow on effect. So, your period will be late as a consequence. So, late ovulation equals late period. Causes of late period. Number one, it can be stress. This one is a big one because stress can stop or delay ovulation. So, we need to remember as well that stress is not just emotional or mental stress, it can be physical and environmental as well. So, when we are stressed, the hormone cortisol is produced, and this can help. It's produced to help us adapt and cope with that stress. But for cortisol to be produced, pregnenolone is hijacked to make this. So, pregnenolone is also a precursor for progesterone to be made. So, this means that pregnenolone cannot be used to make progesterone because it's busy being used to make cortisol. Your body sometimes has to prioritize things. And in this instance, your body is prioritizing your safety rather than producing hormones. Number two, PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome. So, due to the hormone imbalances associated with this syndrome, they can be delayed ovulation, attempts at ovulation, or there can be non ovulatory menstrual cycles that are occurring, all of which can result in your period being delayed, irregular, or having very few periods occurring over the duration of a year. Number three, intense exercise. So if you are doing really lengthy, intense, or really frequent workouts without sort of rest days being, brought into your week, this will actually impact hormone imbalance or hormone balance rather, and it will cause hormone imbalance. Number four, not eating enough. So your body needs enough fuel to be able to operate properly. Remember, it's doing a bajillion different processes all at the same time. And kudos to the body for doing that. But it needs that to be able to have healthy menstrual cycle length, for your periods to occur, for ovulation to happen, and also to be able to feel safe as well. Number five, perimenopause. So, this is the prequel to menopause, and I've spoken about this in another video. So, make sure that you check this out, particularly if you're in your 40s. That's usually when you're going through perimenopause. So, check that video out. It's also on my blog as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, it will be in a previous video there for you. So, for some women, this can be a rocky journey, but it doesn't have to be, okay? It doesn't have to be a struggle. Don't forget that there's always the option of going to a period and hormone naturopath like myself to balance out those hormones and make it an easier transition for you. So, with perimenopause, there will be fluctuations in hormones where initially there is a rise, a drastic rise in estrogen. And then as perimenopause goes through and towards the latter stages of that perimenopause, it will be dropping. So, estrogen will start to drop in that latter phase when it's getting closer to actual menopause. Number six, breastfeeding. So, when you're breastfeeding, high amounts of prolactin, which is a hormone, is produced by the pituitary gland in the brain. And this stimulates breast milk production when you're lactating. So, high prolactin will actually inhibit ovulation, which is a very clever mechanism, and it's a natural, normal thing to take place to ensure that all the nourishment and the nutrients are there for your baby to be, or your baby rather, because it's already there, isn't it? So, even when you are weaning, it can take time for ovulation to happen once again. So, this can result in your period taking its time to show up again. Okay, it needs to learn how to produce hormones again once those prolactin levels start declining. Number seven, eating disorders. So, things like anorexia and bulimia. So, a lack of nutrients means that your body's not getting enough fuel that it needs to run a healthy menstrual cycle. It will then need to prioritize what body functions are actually necessary in this instance. So, this will throw your hormones out of balance and it will arise in period and ovulation issues. Number eight, coming off the pill. So, remember when you are on the pill, ovulation and periods stop. Okay? So you don't actually get a period when you're on the pill. The bleed that you're experiencing is a withdrawal bleed. So when the time comes that you actually decide to come off the pill and your period is late, this is due to your body adjusting after being on the synthetic hormones. It's then time for your body to learn how to produce hormones again and ovulate. And this takes time. So for some women, this can mean that your real period, right, because you don't get your period on the pill, can be missing in action. Number 9, hypothyroid. So this is a thyroid that is underfunctioning. Sorry. So your thyroid's underfunctioning, and that can arise in high estrogen levels. So typically, this is due to the low iodine, because when your thyroid's underfunctioning, commonly it's not the only reason, but it can underfunction because there's not enough iodine there, and it's iodine that will actually regulate estrogen levels. So if that's low, it can no longer keep estrogen in check. And this imbalance in hormones can arise in irregular cycles and or amenorrhea, which means your periods are missing. Number 10, hyperthyroid. So this is a thyroid that is over-functioning, and it results in an increase in the conversion of androgens, which is a male type hormone, being converted into estrogen. So, as mentioned above, this hormonal imbalance can arise in amenorrhea or periods that are missing. Number 11, weight loss. So, if you have lost weight and it's below your ideal BMI, so your body mass index, this is the optimal weight and waist measurement for your height. So, your body will actually panic and think that you're in trouble and that you're going through starvation and it's not sure when you're going to eat next. So, as a protective mechanism, it will shut off the production of hormones because it's not a safe time to reproduce. Even though that might not be your intention, it's just a mechanism that's in place. It's a biological mechanism. So the hormone imbalance impacts your period's arrival because ovulation will be either delayed or it will stop. Number 12, weight gain. So, being overweight can result in hormone imbalance as well. And when this happens, your menstrual cycles will and periods will be irregular, okay, as a result of that hormone imbalance. Number 13, pregnancy. So, this is a pretty obvious one. So, this is one that most people stress about if that's not your intention. It can be a little bit of a worry when your period's late. So, you can always confirm that and take a trip to your GP just to double check and get your HCG levels checked, just to make sure that you're not pregnant. And obviously, you can do pregnancy tests at home as well, but it's always a good idea to go to the doctor just to make doubly sure if you really think that this may be the case and it's something that you're concerned about. So, as you can see, there are many different causes of a late period, and some of which are not concerning. However, others would definitely warrant seeing a health professional to get your body and health back on track and get your menstrual cycles healthy and periods happening. So, if you would like support with your late periods, or perhaps your menstrual cycles are irregular, or maybe you're not sure if you're ovulating or not, I would love to help you. So, go ahead and actually book an appointment. If you are watching on my YouTube channel, there is a link in the description there for so that you're able to go ahead and book. If you're watching on my website, on the blog, please click the button down below to get started, and let's get you back on track. So, FYI, I will be uploading a video every Wednesday talking about women's health, periods, menstrual cycles, and hormones. So, make sure that you stay tuned for the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any future videos. I would like to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.